Hello everyone. Welcome back for another stream. So this one is I think number 6. I'm pretty sure. Um, so no, this is number 7. Yeah. Okay. So in this one, I will be fixing some issues. So I actually had quite a lot of issues with the design. So in my assembly video, you could see that when I assembled it, a bunch of the parts broke off, and that's mainly just because of the way I printed it. It was in such a bad way, where all of the parts were just printed in the wrong angle, I guess, since it was from, like, if you look on the screen here, I printed it like from up here, so all of the print lines were like, especially on these parts are very fragile, right? and I put all of like the fragile parts in the like everything that was like super fragile was just printed in a part in a way that made it more fragile. So I actually should be fixing that. um so I think for this, to fix that, instead of doing like this weird thing that I did, which at the time I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. I think I'll just make it so you can just like screw these parts together instead of putting like this weird thing on the bottom, right? So I'm actually gonna delete that. I'm just gonna return it to the way it was. Um, which, if I can find it, should be like here, I think. I don't know why my timeline is like all the way over here. Okay, so from the timeline, if I remember, it was like I go back here, and this is when I was doing all those edits, right? And I go here, and then I remember this is when I made that. So I actually want to get rid of this. Yeah, let's see how that works now when I get rid of it. Yeah, delete this, and delete this one. Upgrade Fusion subscriptions. What? I don't know what that is. Does it not let me delete? Yeah, it does let me delete. That's so weird. Okay. Whoa, what the heck? I don't think it's supposed to happen. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I think might have been one of these extrudes. I think it was this one, right? Yeah, it was this one. I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. Okay, there you go. And then let's take a look at this shape here. Yeah, I don't like how these fit together, because it's in like a weird way where it's like it's just too thin for it to actually be to work. So I'm not gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna move this. Oh crap! I joined it. I don't want to join it. Okay. I'm gonna move this all the way back down to here, and then I'm gonna be moving this to here. Join that, and I'm gonna move this to, I don't know, here. Join this. So ideally, when I print, I would really like it. I would really like for the for this to print in a way where it's spit in a circle like this. So from the ground up, because if you were to print it like this would just make this really weak, and you don't want the joints to be weak, right? So I want it to be like this for now. Well, not for now. I want it to be like that forever. But now I'm just thinking, since this has plenty of space down here, why don't I just put like 2 screws there? You know, I think that would honestly be a pretty solid way to attach these. Now, so 2 millimeters. Yeah, I think for the plastic version, I'll probably be using like heated inserts, since I heard those are pretty good. It's way better than like screwing it into the plastic, just by itself apparently. So that's probably what I'll be using. But actually, other than that, the joints work really well. I was actually quite happy with how it turned out, because I kind of had low expectations for it. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be kind of weird, but it actually wasn't that bad. Uh, I have no idea what's going on here. I'm gonna move 0.01 up. Oh, these are two. These are two different parts. Okay, so it's 0.01. No, that's so weird. I don't know what is going on with this. It's like there's two weird like arcs over there. So weird. Okay, let's look at the take a look at this. That's a weird geometry, huh? So for the tendons on this one, I think I'll stop using that nylon stuff, and I'll like someone suggested on my on one of my, I think on the V2 video or something. It was like, oh, one of the older streams. Someone said like, oh, a lot of people use like nylon fishing line. I was like, whoa, really? That's crazy, bro. And then I was like, wait, that's actually a crazy good idea, because fishing line is like pretty strong. It's I don't think it flexes. Well, I mean it flexes, but it doesn't like stretch or anything, right? And I could just loop it through here instead of doing like the fishing line with the double tendon stuff where it was like connected. Since I'm just doing like a standard joint, I think it'll actually work really really well if I just have the if I just use a fishing line as the tendon, right? So yeah, so really, now that I'm finished with this, now that I kind of fixed that problem, what I need to do is I need to print this out, and then I need to put this on to this. I'm not quite sure what position to put it in, because I haven't really tested it out yet. I would really like it for this to be kind of in a lower position, kind of like if this was like down here, it would be great, right? Because you would want this kind of whole assembly to also be down there, just because of the fact that, whoa, what the, okay, you would want, probably not this, but you would want this to be like kind of down here, right? And then you probably want this to be like that, just because of the fact that I might have to make this lower or something along those lines, because um, this is kind of weird in the sense that it's like it's in the way of the or I could honestly just move this. I could cut this in half and I can move the fingers up, and I can make a little divot or something for the tube to pass through. But this is kind of weird in the sense that this is supposed to be like the hand, right? And then when it grasps, this will actually, since this is kind of low, it'll actually probably go a few millimeters or a few centimeters upwards. So I don't know, 1 or 2 centimeters upwards. So that'll actually make the palm of the hand go higher, which that's kind of it looks kind of weird when you see it. Where you're like, whoa, what the heck? Why does the hand? Why does the palm get bigger every time you contract your finger, right? But that's just kind of how the design is. Just it's a weird design, but I think it actually has some potential. You don't really have to use the servos. The servos are just there for just because it's convenient, and lots of people. It's very easy to get servos. I'm thinking in the future, I'll probably be using like custom-made linear actuators. Someone was suggesting that in my video, and I've also been thinking about that for quite a while. Why don't you just get a DC motor, put it on a worm, put a worm gear on it, and put a rack on it, right? So it just moves up and down. And I was like, wow, that's actually be pretty good. And it's not like something where you pull on the finger and it's just like, like it's not very weak, because you can't really pull back a rack when it's on a worm. And I was like, well, that's awesome, right? But then I was like, wow, if the hand is working so much, I mean, even working like V2, the motors inside the servos are pretty small. They're like really really small actually. And then when you use it a lot, that thing's working a lot. And then the servos actually tends to get very very hot. And I was like, wow, imagine that, but like the motor is like in a linear actuator, so it'll have to probably work way more than a servo just to get a few centimeters of motion, right? And I was like, well, that'll probably be like crazy overheated. So you have to use like I'm thinking like this, next like actuator stuff is gonna be like crazy. It's gonna have like liquid cooling and stuff. Like you're gonna have to run coolant through the motors. I was like, that's crazy. Um, I'll and then I was looking into more options. I was like, well, linear actuators work pretty well. And then I saw this thing called Hazel actuators. I was like, what? And apparently it's like it uses electricity, but it has like some sort of liquid where it like uh it like turns it just like shrinks and contracts like this bag, and like you can chain the bag to get like long, so you can like it like inflates and it deflates, so that kind of creates like motion where it's like it gets longer and it gets shorter. And apparently like I saw a video where people had like these two like prongs or like fingers, and like they were like manipulating stuff using the Hazel actuators. It was awesome actually. And uh I think once I once once I get to that, I'll actually make a few different versions with the linear actuators and the Hazel actuators, right? But yeah, as I was saying, I would probably want this to be like this, and I probably want to move this up a little bit. Um, this could move a little bit up, yeah. I could probably run. Actually, I remember someone else said, "Why don't you run the why don't you run the tendon through wheels?" And I was like, okay, you could. I guess you could technically put wheels here, but I don't really see a point in that. Uh, but if I make it and some complications pop up where it's like there's some friction and stuff and like you need to fix it, I'll probably do that. But I actually had that might be a pretty good idea to put a wheel here so that it doesn't just brush against this kind of hard part, or like you can put a wheel here so it's like it's way smoother, you know. Uh, so actually one of the original ideas I had for this hand was to have it with a rigid body system where it was everything was actuated just by like everything was linked together by rods, and like when you move like one phalanx, every other phalanx would also move like this. And then I was like, wow, that'll be awesome. But like I don't know how to design that. Well, I could probably design that, but I don't know how to do it in Fusion. So I'm just doing just like this. I also really like the tendon idea because with the rigid system, it's you can't really move it when it's like bent, but with this it's kind of flexible, so like you can actually adjust the stuff you grab, right? So yeah. As for splaying, I'm not sure that splaying will fit in something of the size that I want to create, especially when it's I want it to be pretty small. Like I want it to be small enough to the point where it's like as small as the actual human hand. I mean, this thing's pretty small for now. I mean, I want it to be slim too. I feel like when you add, since these two will probably be like here as well, I feel like there's gonna be like a thumb here, right? Um, the thumb is gonna probably take up some space. I want it to be a good thumb mechanism because I see a lot of hands with like I don't want to bash on like in move hand, but like the in move thumb is just like this, and I mean that's that's pretty good, but like yeah, it's not very adaptable, you know. And I want the thumb to be strong. I don't think the V2 thumb was that strong, even though it was using a pretty strong servo. The way it was like working is kind of limited in a weird fashion. I wasn't really quite happy with that. So probably thumb I want it to be very good. Um, as for this, I'll actually probably print it out. Uh, and then I'm gonna assemble it. So since this is like fixed already, so well, that's not fixed already, not yet. I have to got it. I'm just gonna put two like little screw thingies here. This should be, I think, two. Yeah, there should be two as well. There you go. I'll move this one. There you go. I think that'll hold. I mean, these screws are pretty damn strong, so I don't think it'll have a problem with that. And as for printing, I think it should be printing pretty smoothly. The large uh the proximal phalanx didn't really have any issues printing. I think I actually had my print bed quite low. Not quite low. I actually had the print bed quite high. So I might have actually that might have actually caused a problem because when I tried to put these together, it wasn't quite assembling well, just because the uh, the print was so how did I say, like the print was like the bottom had like elephant's foot. Wait, is that a real thing? Elephant's foot? I think that's a real printing term or something. But yeah, elephant's foot. It was weird because like the bottom was like all squished down, so I wasn't. It was quite hard. So I had to like rub it, sand it down, or like use like a what are those things called? I had to use a it's it's like a sandpaper. I had to sand it down. It's like a metal sandpaper. I don't know what it's called. So I had to use that to like sand it down to get them to fit. But even then, well, with just like the slightest amount of pressure, the like the binds broke. So that wasn't good. I think this one will be fine. I might actually have to tweak this a little bit because the way this was printed was like really off. Because this isn't like it's such like an awkward print. Because like if you want to print it, you could print it like this, but there's like this isn't flat, right? And if you want to print it like this, there's like what is this, bro? Why is there like this weird thing here, right? And that's just like you can't put it, you can't make it as a flat print. So I actually want to fix that. So I actually, instead of doing this like double thing, I think I'll just get rid of this part completely, right? Because there is no point for this part to even exist because it's already linked here. So that'll just simplify the printing. So I'll probably get rid of this part or this part. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna split this body right here. Split, split here. Bam. Get these two. Get them out here. I'm just gonna select, delete. There you go. And then this one. Actually, I don't know what I want to do with this. This rod. I got a few new hacksaw blades, so I'll have to hack it down. But I don't want to keep relying on breaking down parts because it's not very easy to assemble, right? I want to get a few metal. What are those called? Metal dowels. Yeah, metal dowels. I want to get metal like dowel pins, so I can actually have like a proprietary size for this. So I'll just keep it like this for now. I'll probably like glue something at the end so it doesn't slip off. But since it's just a prototype, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. Since I'm really just using this to find the exact position of the servo and where I need to place it. And once I get that figured out, oh yeah, and once I start testing the actual mechanism, of course. uh, Once that's done, I think the next step is just uh changing the length a few times on the finger, and then you know uh, making three more. So yeah, I can just copy and paste it, and then change the lengths of the fingers, and then find the orientation of the servos. So find the position of where to put the servos, change the lengths of this, and then once I have that done, I can just work on the thumb. So palm shell. I don't know if I should do palm shell. Uh, I probably should put a palm shell because when you grab something, you don't want just like mechanical stuff to just be in the palm, right? But I actually kind of like the idea of having mechanical stuff in the palm because that's kind of cool. Like you see, that's like a Terminator hand, like Ian Davis hand. Ian Davis is like his hand is like all like metal. There's like chains, like there's like fucking gears in there. and you look at it, you're like, wow, that looks awesome. You know, like you want to see this, and you're like, wow, that looks awesome. If you put a palm, it looks too friendly, it looks too goofy, which I'm not saying those are bad things, but yeah, you want a hand, you want it to look cool. You want it to look, you want like, I bet you like an amputee and you get a hand and like, would you want it to like, okay, I guess it actually depends on the person, but would you want it to like, you take off your glove and like it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger taking off, it's like T-800 taking off his like hand in Terminator, right? It's like it feels all metal. It's like just like wire everywhere. Like that's cool. But then like, you know what? I'll just make it so like the palm shell, you can take it off if you want. You can put it on if you want. It's gonna be very customizable, right? Probably back shell. I need a back shell for this one, and I don't like the back shell on V2. It's like it looks too big. It looks like a clamshell. That's what I've been calling it. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, this is a clamshell, because it looks like a clam, dude. Like imagine you take this, and then it's like a clamshell, and then you do this. It's like, look at this, dude. I mean, come on, this is a clam right here. This is a clamshell. It's like it looks like one of the clams from SpongeBob, bro. Look at this thing. It's like it's like a clam. I don't really like it. I thought it looks tacky, and I don't like the weird side holes here. Even though it looks kind of sick, and like you can see the pulley on the inside. It's actually not that good because it's just weird, and this part is like it was it wasn't very well thought out. Like when I was designing this, like I had to like put all this stuff in, and it's like this wasn't really thought out. It was just like made on the spot, and I was like, okay, I'll just make it, and I just put it there. I was like, okay, you know, but yeah, you can see this is a wide hand. Like this hand is like wide. Let's see how tall this is from the base of the clamshell to probably this peak right here. So I don't know, like around here. Oh my god, this is a 85 millimeter. 85 millimeter. Let's see. Oh my, 85 millimeter. Okay, how many inches is that? Let's see. Let's look at this diet caliper. That's a 3.3 inch hand. I mean, look at my hand compared to 85 millimeters. This is like, what kind of hand? This is what kind of monster hand is that? I mean, oh my god, what the hell? Look at this, dude. Oh my, this is like, it's a crazy ass monster hand. And as for internals, I think I want V3 to look very clean. And this is like, it looks okay. I just wish that I didn't make the double tenon system for this. The double tenon, the one where it controls the outside and the bottom controls this, because that was kind of tacky. At the time when I was designing this, I was like, oh, this is genius. This is like next level. And then when I made it, I realized like, oh man, this kind of sucks actually. So I want V3 to be functional. That's what I want. I don't want no cool looking hand. I want a functional hand, right? Because the best flex is having functionality. Imagine you have like a crazy cool car. It's all modded out. It's got like, it's twin charged, but the engine blows up every time. Like the clutch disintegrates every time you switch. Like every time you change gears. You know, like you don't want that. You want like a reliable one. Maybe it's not the fastest, but it's very reliable. You know. Yeah. Actually, I've been looking into the Kyber hand, and like the Kyber hand is insane. It's crazy. The Kyber Labs. Yeah. I'm not sure there's a lot of detailed explanations or anything on it. I think Kyber hand is just kind of, it just exists, and you see like a few demo videos now and then, but I haven't seen like an internal view of the Kyber hand. I just seen like a few videos of it, like putting in screws and stuff. Yeah. Wow, enough yapping. Time to print it. So I think I'm gonna print it, and then I'm probably gonna make a video on me printing it. So yeah. Alright, well, this wasn't very much of a modeling stream, was it? It was just me talking about my future plans and stuff for this hand. So, if you actually watched that, thank you very much. I'm honored that you watched it, and I hope you're looking. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you continue to have a great day, and I hope you like robotic hands as much as I do. So yeah. Thanks for watching.